Hello guys, and welcome to a new Warno video today by me, Vulcan. In this one I have for you Game 3 of a best of 3 between Tofuk and Chich in the quarterfinals of the Division 1 playoffs of the Warno League. Today they're going to be playing on Airport Duel, and on our left in the red team, playing with the 24th US Infantry, once again we have Chich. And on our right, in the blue team, we have Tofuk, who's going to be using the 1st UK Armoured Division. So both of these players on very, very strong divisions. The 24th, we saw Chich do extremely well with it in the last game, so I'm surprised that Tofuk hadn't banned it moving into this one. But maybe he's thinking that he will have success with the 1st UK Armoured because it is a very strong division itself. But yeah, the 24th, the National Guard Mechanized Infantry Division, lots of good value for money units, and an abundant amount of tanks. That's for sure. Also Strike Eagles. Strike Eagles, guys. Watch out for Strike Eagles. Meanwhile, 1st UK, it's got some really nice forward deployment, and you can follow it up with some solid units. So in this case, he's going to be doing Terrier's Powder with the SAS Patrol, followed up by the Foxes for autocannon fire support so that he can win any initial engagements with the US forward deployment, which is always rather lackluster because it's mostly just scouts. And then he's going to be following up, in this case, he's got the Chieftain Mark 11 here, 2 track rapiers, Javelin LML, Milan 1, and the Rover CP. It's quite a big investment into AA early on, but he's probably going to try and make sure that those Strike Eagles can't take advantage of him in this game like they did in the last. In terms of deployment for Chich, he went for the 50 cal Jeeps with scouts at the front, and then he's going to be bringing in an AH-1F at the start with an aero rifle in the Huey, interestingly, and then some military police with the M67 recoilless. He's got some ITOs to spread around, some Stingers, and he's also going to be bringing in some supply to make sure those HGMs can keep on firing. So yeah, Airport, very interesting map. Very big map, actually, for a 1v1. In terms of width, it takes a long time to get to these points on the outer edges, but we are off. Let's see where these troops are heading. The Tornado F3 as well at the start. Interesting. Now, it is going to be quite common for an American division to bring out some helicopters early on. But Chich, he's already ready to cover off his helicopters. So we're going to see the Tornado versus the Phantom. Phantom actually turned in the wrong direction, but still managed to get the kill there. Huge. Absolutely huge for Chich. Phantom 2 worth a lot less than a Tornado. And that Tornado going down, that was exceptionally unlucky for Tofuk. He's not going to be happy about that one, as it will leave him more vulnerable to the Strike Eagles throughout the game. Those Tornadoes are going to be pretty much the primary thing that Tofuk needs in order to shut them down, because track rapiers unreliable, Javelin LMLs short range. So another Tornado now being invested in ends up missing the infrared missile, so the aero rifle doesn't go down. Now Chich investing into the F-15C Eagle is gonna make it so that the aero rifles can land. Will the Eagle take out the Tornado? The Tornado's trying to do a runner. It's been evac'd pretty late, but it looks like it should be able to get away. Yeah, and the Eagle should be able to as well. That's just going to go up into the sky. Track rapiers both missed their shots. And another shot goes past. Track rapiers are just so terrible. Meanwhile, on this top side, both players have managed to get into position with their forces. The Rover Milan actually did take out one of the M151s there, taking care of one of the infantry squads. The scouts on the bottom side also got taken out, so this Fox actually done a good job here because it's a kind of semi-secured Bravo. if he can get the Rover CP down to this bottom side, he can cap up Bravo, get a couple infantry squads in here, just to be really annoying, because this is so far from Chich's spawn. So that'd be pretty much a free sector for the majority of the game. He can cap up Foxtrot, because it's not really contested at the moment. And then he can go back and cap Echo, and just get himself into a really nice early conquest point lead. And then just kind of hunker down and try and slug it out with the 24th. The issue is, like, in the long run, I do feel like the 24th can win these sort of ongoing engagements. Like, the longer the game goes on, the more value the National Guard can bring onto the field. So unless you're kind of keeping up with that by finding kills yourself, it can be very, very oppressive. And AH-1F's here, taking advantage of the Javelin LML being just out of range, getting a lot of damage on the Terrier's powder, trying to kill off the SAS patrol as well. Would be some very nice kills, but here comes the Tornado F3. Doesn't commit the Tornado F3 to kill the AH-1Fs. The Terriers do go down. SAS patrol are going to survive, as both of the Cobras are very low on rockets. But I think he may have seen the Javelin LML move up. He definitely saw the track Rapier moving that direction, so both of those reasons to fall back with the AH-1Fs. Now the F-15 hanging about. Tornado F3 on the backside for Tofuk. Harrier GR3 on the field. Interesting. Now, Chich here. Cheeky Mutt CP on the bottom side. Needs to be very careful of the Fox. We're going to see the Harrier be engaged by the Eagle. Oh, the GR3 trying to get an AIM-9 on target. We got a 2v1. Now a 2v2. 2 Eagles versus 2 Tornadoes. My money is certainly on the Eagles, as the Eagles do have 40% ECM. And the Tornadoes only 30. So it's a lot better engagement for the Eagles right now. We'll have to wait and see. That Tornado F3 managing to survive. Second one goes down. Oh, both of them taken out as expected. Eagles incredibly good in this engagement. And nicely done. Nicely done indeed. Chich really securing the air for himself in this game. The Tow Cobra actually managing to find and kill the Fox on the bottom side. That's going to open up the way for the command to sneak in on that bottom side, which he's going to want to get in there as soon as possible, because Tofuk really starting to count up the conquest points himself. But all the while, Chich has managed to get into a pretty good position here. He's pushed out a lot of the support weapons that Tofuk had here, like the HGM units. He's also going to be able to move down and probably try and kill the Javelin LML. He's in a tough spot right now, Tofuk, and it takes a long time for all of this stuff to get to the front line. Both players have been investing a lot into their aircraft, which quite often happens on this map because it takes so long to get infantry into position, or any units into position really. But LML being moved to the middle. This LML is probably spotted by the scouts. I wouldn't be surprised if Chich tries to move these units in order to engage that, but is currently trying to get the M35 supply to get them back to full numbers. Tow Cobra, though, almost left to its device to kill the Braver CP. These track rapiers need to get over here as soon as possible. It looks like one of the track rapiers actually got taken out. The one that was here, maybe overextended. Oh no. Here we go again, boys. Strike Eagle on the field. And with the majority of the Tornadoes already killed off, I think he's lost 3 of them, Tofuk. This Strike Eagle is pretty much free to do what it wants. And it's looking at the moment... What's it looking for? There's no way. Is it going for the track rapier? It is going for the track rapier. It's also going to get a shot onto the Harrier GR3, which is going to stop that, and pulls a shot onto the Gazelle as it goes past. No way. These Strike Eagles are crazy. And yeah, for me, right now, I'm thinking, Tofuk, why didn't you ban the 24th? Like, it is gross. Chich is a big fan of it and can use it to incredible effect. And with the track rapier being taken out by the laser guided bombs, the tow cobra is free to get rockets onto the terrier padder. We'll be able to put an ITO onto the Chieftain Mark 11. Honestly though, I wouldn't be surprised if Chich is just saving for another Strike Eagle, because as long as this Chieftain Mark 11 is showing itself, it is vulnerable. And actually I think we might have seen all 4 tornadoes go down, which would be very, very bad news for Tofuk, because he'll be entirely reliant on Javelin LMLs and track rapiers for the rest of the game. And as I mentioned before, the Javelin LMLs are too short range, and the track rapiers are just unreliable. So, yeah, I mean, you can see that with the track rapier being killed by the Strike Eagle itself. So, I think Tofuk here in a big hole. Javelin LML coming in to try and cover off the bottom side. Rover CP almost got killed off by the military police, but saved by the Chieftain Mark 11. Harrier GR3 coming in, looking to kill off the Cobra. Nice thing about Harriers is because they're pretty slow. They're only 722 kilometers per hour. They're actually really nice for taking down helicopters. In this case, it unfortunately missed both of its infrared missiles, so the Cobra stayed alive. But yeah, if it had landed a shot there, it would have done the job. In this case, F-15's coming in, cleaning up the Harrier for free, and Tofuk continues to be in a pretty rough situation. Got the Fox on the top side. Poor thing is in trouble, as the HGMs are going to be flying in from this high-rise, looking for the Stinger kill. Actually pretty important, because then he can make good use of the Gazelle AH-1s, but the Eagle's all over him, and those Gazelle AH-1s aren't going to be doing anything anytime soon. Can the LML at least shut down these Cobras? Misses the first shot. Chieftain Mark 11 spotted. Not good news. LML now reloading after firing 3. The Javelin LML, it basically has a tube of 3 Javelins. And then after it fires all 3, which you can do pretty quickly as you saw, it has to reload. So the second one's going to be able to get away with that. This Chieftain Mark 11, actually in a really bad situation. The aero rifles and the scouts managing to get right next to that unit. Harrier GR3 comes up, does get the cluster onto the M1 IP, but doesn't find the kill. Does take out the Cobra, so much more value out of that Harrier GR3. That's what he wanted to do before. The arrow rifles didn't manage to secure the kill with the M72 Laws. Oh, I thought that was friendly fire then, but it's just an Abbott coming in with smoke support. Try and keep his Chieftain Mark 11 alive, but Chich is just going to ram that with his M1 IPs to take it out. Arrow rifles, meanwhile, will just run through to keep eyes on it so that he can get the first shot with the M1 IPs from the heavy cover. Meanwhile, on the top side, Chich still holding his position there nicely. Now investing into a lot of M2 Bradleys in order to finish things off. But here we go. Chieftain surely going to go down, but track rapier taken out. It's not good. And the Chieftain Mark 11 command goes down. Milan 1 taken out in the open here as well. Yeah, more and more units falling in favor of Chich. This has been very, very nasty game. Very, very nasty game. And I think Tofuk, he had the right idea investing into the tornadoes, but he can't really let them go down for free. You can see that Chich, he has both a card of Phantoms and a card of Eagles. So loads of aircraft for himself as well. He's going to be coming in, taking out the Gazelle AH-1 rockets. They're 20 points apiece. I think I said in one of my in the previous replays that they'd been increased in price. I thought they had, but maybe they got lowered again. Regardless. Ah, there is the fourth. Okay, so there is still one Tornado F3, but on its own, it's kind of a sitting duck. In this case, hasn't done too badly. Oh, those Eagles. That Tornado F3 actually somewhat managed to force off both of the F-15s. He did unfortunately lose one of his Harrier GR3s. Nice cluster is going to damage the M1 IPs. Doesn't really have enough payload to kill them in one run. But a good hit, certainly. Now these Chieftain Mark 11s might actually have a chance of pushing back in there. Things are currently equal in terms of kills and losses. But... or not kills and losses, in terms of conquest points. We've got, like, neither player really getting an advantage here, but the Strike Eagle coming over, free kill onto the Chieftain Mark 11. No, is the second one going to go down as well? Oh. Oh no, the story of this series. The Strike Eagle strikes again. And that is rough. That is rough. Yeah. I think if I was in Tofuk's position, I'd probably call it there too. Chich, 3,170 kills, 1,150 losses. And as soon as you get behind against the 24th, it just becomes so oppressive, because you saw the amount of like M2 Bradleys that turned up, and he just had nothing to deal with it. The two Chieftains there not able to capitalize on the damage that was dealt by the Harrier GR3s. And maybe that's like something to point out, is that trying to hit those M1 IPs with cluster when you're not prepared to engage them with your own tanks is wasteful. You know, you should ideally be using the Harrier GR3s to cluster the enemy tanks as you engage with the Chieftains, because then they can't escape on low health, and like the cohesion loss allows you to win the engagements. So kind of important. But how many Tornado F3s went down? So it was just 3 in the end, so I was counting correctly. So 1, 2, 3 taken out. The last one survived. The trouble is, like Tofuk, when it got to like the last Tornado F3, he's basically never going to have air superiority. So if he brings out the Tornado F3, all that's going to happen is like 2 F-15s come out and he gets it shot down. So that's why we didn't see that invested in for a long time. In the end, it's kind of like you could only really use the Tornado F3 when the Eagles sort of turn their back. So if they like overcommit to kill like a Harrier or maybe like these Gazelle AH-1s, then the F3 can come in and engage them whilst they're doing that. Sort of catch them out. But otherwise, just check out this Strike Eagle. 3 Chieftain Mark 11s, tracked Rapier, Gazelle AH-1. These aircraft really just won the game or won the series for Chich, as 2 times he's used the 24th to annihilate Tofuk in this best of 3. And commiserations to Tofuk. I think, honestly, really, really nice plays on the ground. A lot of potential, but just completely shut down by the Strike Eagles in the second game. Third game, the air engagements just didn't go in his favor. So what can you do? On Airport, it's a very big map. It's very easy to be punished on that map because it's so big. I'm not a personal fan of that map, but it is what it is. Tofuk taken out of the finals of the WARNO League. Chich moving on to the semi-finals. Really, really nicely done. And yeah, fantastic job. Hopefully guys have enjoyed this best of 3 series. It has been pretty awesome, and it's really been fun to cast again. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.